Hello, Americans. This is another chapter of your story. Back in the 1920s, a state historian by the name of Doane Robinson looked over the rugged granite Black Hills of South Dakota. He saw beauty, but he wanted something more. He wanted a reason for the world to stop, to turn off the dirt roads, and to look up. 14 years, 400 dedicated workers, and tons of dynamite later, four giants of liberty emerged from stone: Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, Lincoln. The world's largest work of art ever carved into the face of the earth. Now, when we think of Mount Rushmore, we think of cold, hard granite, heavy, immutable, eternal, which brings us to a small master minting outfit nestled in the mountains of Europe, CIT, or Coin Investment Trust. You see, CIT decided to take this, a half ounce of 4.9 silver, a crisp 38 millimeters of the Cook Islands legal tender, just limited to 1,500 pieces worldwide for 2026. Now, normally when a mint strikes a classic national monument, they give you a high relief, deep frost, mirrored fields, all of that kind of stuff, such as we see in the Jefferson Memorial. And that is where the magic begins. You hold this piece under the light and in front of your eyes, and it seems that the granite washes away. Instead of the stark, rigid metal lines, CIT used a brilliant colorization technique that renders Mount Rushmore as a delicate, breathtaking watercolor painting. Look closely at this background. The surface of the silver isn't polished fully smooth throughout the entire coin. It carries subtle textured weave of raw artist paper. The color bleeds across the canvas, soft blues of a quiet morning, warm ambers of the American sunset, making it look as if the painter had just stepped away from the easel. The paint looks wet and the air feels fresh. It takes four men who forged a nation and wraps them in soft poetic nostalgia of pure Americana. It turns history into a brush stroke. When you look at these four, Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln, bleeding softly into the canvas backdrop of this half-ounce silver proof, you aren't just looking at a monument. You're looking at a story that is still being painted. A story of a young country, etched in silver, captured with a splash of color, and limited to only a lucky few who managed to hold one. Whether you collect for the raw silver or for the pure artistic heart of the coin, this is one of those rare numismatic treasures that reminds us why we love physical media. You can't get this feeling from a digital screen. You hold it in the palm of your hand, you feel the weight of this half ounce of pure 4.9 silver, and watch the light dance across this beautiful proof sky in the back. If you'd like to see more hidden gems, rare strikes, and the unique stories behind the world's finest silver coins, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel as we make these videos all the time. I also encourage you to drop a comment below letting me know what monument or landmark would you like to see minted next in silver. I assure you, the CIT Mint will be watching our comments to see what you think. But now, let's put this amazing coin on our 60-point scale to see if it is right for your collection. We start, of course, at the Obverse. As you can see, we have the effigy of King Charles III. This is the classic Dan Thorne version. It is in proof form. This is a common scene, but it does jump a bit more to the eye being proof. I have always loved the simplistic, bold text, but there is nothing here that gives the Obverse identity to the actual theme of the coin. Something as subtle as a privy or texture, or maybe even a streak of watercolor in the field of this coin would not only tie the two sides together, but also give a fingerprint to the Obverse in a way that would elevate the beauty as well as give it an identity. This is not a knock on the monarchy, but rather just a way to make the Obverse have as much recognition as possible to the theme of the coin, the inspiration of the coin. I score it an 8. We move now to the fresh yet iconic reverse, where we're met with this amazing scene. I absolutely love Mount Rushmore. It's an edifice at the crossroads of nature and human expression, but there are limitations to stone. This is not white marble that he carved into, so the contrast of shadows does not meet the bright white of marble, but rather a sandy color, which does not quite have the contrast as many world greats such as Michelangelo would give. When the artisans took to this coin, they were restricted by the form, but not the color. Using a watercolor palette, they were able to take the natural stone hues and cast them upon a theme paired with misty blue and velvety brown. And the star of the show, a touch of black. Though black is used the least, it is what creates the element that makes this scene have true human emotion. I see each of the four as they're looking down at the body of work of this great nation, the trials, the tribulations of each generation, and are proud of what we have accomplished. If this were an art piece I could buy for my wall, I would surely hang it. I love the way the blended bleeding paint falls upon the frosted finish, guiding us to the identity of this series as a world landmark. I love the proof sky and the way the hues rise and fade from the heads of our former leaders to the heavens holding our feathered friends. This is one of the most fantastic uses of ink on a coin I have ever seen. I hope that watercolor and this series become friends, and we see more of this combination. I scored a 10. Mintage is next. One of the amazing things about this coin is that it is 38.61 millimeters as a half-ounce coin. This is very similar to many of our 1-ounce standards you know and love in diameter, but it is half an ounce. A half an ounce was chosen due to the rise in precious metals value. CIT wanted to make sure that there was an entry-level price point for rare art coins so that all would be able to welcome coins like this into their house, so long as you get one quickly, as there are only 1,500 worldwide. Mintage scores a 10, bringing us to cultural significance. Historically and traditionally, the South Pacific island nation of the Cook Islands has no direct cultural or geographical ties to Mount Rushmore or the 4 U.S. presidents depicted upon it. George Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, Lincoln are just not big in the Cook Islands. However, a distinct modern connection exists through the world of numismatics, as we see here with the Cook Islands. Cook Islands frequently licenses its name for legal tender commemorative coins produced by International Mints, creative and popular collector series that celebrate famous global sites and historical figures. Through initiatives like the World Landmarks Coin Series, the Cook Islands issues silver coins just like this. Outside of the commercial collector issues and sharing global diplomatic ties, Mount Rushmore remains uniquely American as a monument representing U.S. history, while the Cook Islands remains its own distinct Polynesian heritage culture. I unfortunately scored a 2, as the site seems to be recognizable around the world, but not necessarily any connect to Cook Islands. It is my hope, though, that children in the Cook Islands in their textbooks see this site and they say, wow, I want to go there and see that. Which brings us to collectibility. We have one of the coolest uses of colors on a proof coin with low mintage, hailing from a theme that is uniquely and historically Americana, which means it's basically a home run. Being a half ounce and yet the same diameter as other full ounce coins make this even more desirable in my eyes, and so I scored a 10. Which brings us to our last category, which is uniqueness. Have you ever seen anything quite like this? We have a theme of Mount Rushmore, which surprisingly has not been overutilized. This, covered by the wash of watercolor yet blended with the realism of nature as we have a smattering of birds, makes this extremely unique. I scored a 10, bringing us to our final thoughts and score. This 4 horsemen of our nation's inception declare a 50 out of 60, meaning absolutely yes, this coin has passed the elite threshold. I cannot imagine anyone being disappointed for having this piece in their collection. It's such a red-blooded piece of Americana. What I'm discovering is I like the style and quality so much that I would love to have other monuments like the Parthenon, Trevi Fountains in Rome, maybe the Anasazi Cliffs of the Four Corners, or many other of our World Heritage sites done just like this. It is absolutely stunning. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.